I will tell all this year for Voice of Salone Network. Today now, December 10th, 2021, Friday. Like every other Friday, we are back for talk about something where it's very important to be self and we country. And that make we stay up late so that we will come, we get discussion, we educate ourselves. As always, I get my guests with the journey from the UK, with Madam Kadi Johnson. I will ask her for come in to this himself and then we will start the program. Over to you, Madam Kadi.
Yeah, we found from the end. Good morning, Nami on time in the UK.
Good morning, good morning. We have come, let me go ahead and share, because that's what I know is a very, very important topic, and a topic where we all know say right now on a top topic, now the country and around the world, and at the same time, plenty of people they try to understand what's in the going on. We know say plenty of people they involved in politics, and some money they follow the train. So many act like they know what's in the ground, but then they stay confused about what's in the ground about the process. And that make we deny for make people take the time for sit down, let we educate ourselves, let we talk about what's in the ground. Not only for today, and for the future, because we as a Union that we get the opportunity for let we make Salone a better place. We will only do that if we educate ourselves and make good judgment and make good judgment on things and where we don't learn, not the things that we pretend like say we know. So now that make today we take the time. We know say all man busy and we all busy, but we say listen, we get responsibility to we country. So we will come today for what we can talk and now we get a meaningful discussion, open one about we country, about the census and what's in the go on. What's in now you don't take. What's in you feel say will happen. Or with this controversy they go on between the ruling party and the opposition system and the international committee. What's in on our feel say Salome will get out of her. So I will ask me guests, Auntie Kadi, make him will give me your take about what's in exactly what you take right now for some census, then before we're able to come in and explain bottom. So what's in that you take about in the go right now, Salome?
The country just being in a state of confusion, actually. Yeah, they're in a state of confusion because the political parties are not in agreement with the government. So the government have to listen and see how they can do something about the whole thing.
Okay. All right. So, but again, before I know people. I know a lot of people set income because we just for set the stage. So, what I will do as the host, I will come in and set the stage for people. Make people understand what's in the go on. Before I come at the show, earlier some couple of people have called me behind the scenes. Listen, man. What's in the census there? We understand they can count people sometimes, but what's go on? Why make this book? Why make this confusion book? So if people will bear with me small, I will take me time for explain some few things I'm told now. I'm not going to explain everything because it will take a long time, but I will try for summarize. And when you get the opportunity for call, if you get question, please ask the question so that we will come out and explain to you more. Because the better we know, the better it is for us to make better judgments. Now, make I explain to some of my family waiting the census to do. Why make we do census in a country? Why make we waste plenty money or even ask people for good money for what we count? We say, for we know how many people in the country. The reason why make people in the count for know, first they want to know the population of that country, how many people in there. They want to know outside the people in there, and the things that we don't give the people in terms of support or amenities. For instance, I don't need America. The last census in America, politician no can tell me say no vote no this no that. If I don't know even can I me do not, then send me a mail. They send something inside my mail and say the census they go on. But what they put in the mail make I grab for fulfill the census. I go on. I do them online. Nobody no can me do. But the last one, that's the people that in Canada we do more than knock. But then say because of political reasons, we can't talk about that. So people then say okay now. Make we give the people tell them the exact reason why make it important for them do this here. We then send the mail na me us. Inside the mail, then put something away very, very important. Say, if you allow for law, we count you, want to know the people in this area, the area where you there. Now, so government allocate fund to your area. This is not the way government do every 10 years. So if we're not able to count you right now your area, then for the next 10 years, you get less of the money your area forgets. Now assume say you picking them, then you're going to start in school. This area don't grow. More people don't move in this area. Government no will know unless they count now. So if they know say the population not high, that will make government one build more schools, build more recreation areas, build more parks. At the same time, give una more roads them because they know say the traffic will jam. So when they give me the when they explain it here to me, I take them as a responsibility. So okay, if I let me pick and get better school, I will go do I will count myself. Then the second reason, they get a political reason, they get something they call gerrymandering. Gerrymandering, people in the camp then look at the area and say, well, this population number kuna, so let's bring another district now. The other district then they put another MPD, a representative. So the bigger the city, the more representatives when they get another city there. So sometimes the politician they manipulate this tier. Come to a certain area, then draw line so the population the more, so it will come to them, so they will get more representatives in a parliament or the Senate or any other area outside government there, so that they will get that upper hand over the other person. So if we listen carefully about what they go on Salone, I believe some of them things here don't make people expect, because the one when they in favor will tell you say, make them count you, so that the way government is share the pocket money they una the bokusa forget more money, but on a small side. But the other people look back saying, una hold on. Politicians they want to take advantage of we now for come now and go now with area and lie say this more people in here, so then we're able to do more districts there. So that make in the final say you get this kuskas where they go on between the people then. So again, I go hand them over, I will bring article in there for he go tell me what's the intake of what I don't say, and if you go add one or subtract, it's over to you now.
Well, I think you actually said it all for now. You see, so let me just wait now when you the technical thing, then bring something come up, then we can touch on that.
So, but now make we look at something that are more important. As we go right now, we find out the census don't start today. So before we bring the video, make me ask first what waiting you take on, because we know the previous administration, they say the figure they may wrong at that point. And then when I started, they come up with two other districts them, when they talk about the Caribbean and the Falaba. And now this government on Canada and say, okay, well, they want to can correct the wrong. So at this point, you feel say what they do is the right way they do one for correct this wrong, or you feel it's the wrong when they go about it for correct it?
I know get from them, say the one for correct. Why don't we say from 2018 where they're gonna power? Why then wait until now for correct this wrong here so? And not, so I'm not able to understand why. Because then they may not get plenty time for letting correct any wrong. When it's just around the corner. So why now? When the country, the people they need, because we consider all that money we they say no, something like billion. I think 19 billion is leons or dollars. I'm not quite sure now. It gets me. People then they not get water for drink. Lights not the continuous blackouts day at the place. Food not day. People then they struggle. So why they want to spend all that money there for the census? Yes, we know say the president get right for call census, you get me? But the manner in which then they go about it is wrong. Because if the MPs themselves within a parliament don't object, they object clearly, everybody see them inside the words of parliament. They don't want them. All the opposition say they don't want them. You see, and the main funder, the people that we fund the election, the census here from start, because I understand the World Bank I don't did it from the beginning, although they get other partners that we come in, World Bank did with them from start. The very World Bank now, when they say don't they work with them up to this last minute, the World Bank pull out. That's not a very, very big red flag for sure say this census not for go on. it really not forgotten because now of no benefit to the country other than to SLPP party. Now the number will get the benefit. It doesn't matter when they say the previous government be done one. So they say one can correct them. You get me? But they get plenty time for correct them. Why only now? You see? Why only now? And it don't make sense for correct anything. Well, they can correct them actually, to be honest. They can correct them if they're able to correct them. But from what they see now is you cannot correct something when the whole process is wrong. Even according to what in the World Bank they say. You see, they refuse, then they work with them up to last minute. This is according to what in statistics they say, because they claim now say, oh well, World Bank with it, then they work with them, then they tell them this, they agree with everything, blah blah blah, everything, and do they agree just last minute now. Now they just can't say so. It's as if they're insinuating that people would not work out under them. But I don't think so, because the World Bank, they make a clear say, they pull out because of technical and financial issues. One, the World Bank, they're supposed to, the pilots, they get pilots issues, pilot census issues. You see, then to the timing where the one went from to the 10th, you see, it's too short. It's too short, so they're not going to get correct data. The information whether it's therefore gets from members of the public, they're not able to get the correct information, because the people themselves, the field people then, the enumerators then, with them train, they not get adequate training, they're not trained them properly yet. And we can see, and because they hear all the news the past few days, how waiting they happen to some field to some field men them wait and don't go take, whether they take the iPad money no they for pay, so not even know how to operate certain things then. So when I can't go do censor under such condition, it is obviously any information where they get go wrong, it not go correct. You see. So to tell you the truth, I think to say it makes sense where the people that object, majority of the people that object, and may not to blame the political parties then, where they advise the members then, say make them not go on the census. Yes, although they say illegal people then go subject themselves to government discipline, because they go in breach of the laws or parliament laws and all that, you see. But again, my understanding is if you can get if 5% of members of the public, the voters then go against, that will invalidate the census. And as it is now, it looks as if it's going to be invalidated, because the APC party alone, I think from waiting I understand, I think then get over 30% something of the sort, but they get plenty. They get enough. So in effect, with all the other opposition people, then point for Lady SLPP carry on with this. You see, there's no point, because they invalidate them. It not will work. You see. It will work. There is no point. World Bank don't give them the reasons why. The only thing is, okay, as you say, the opposition and they claim gerrymandering, get me. World Bank in not talk about gerrymandering. World Bank in talk about two things, the technical issues and finance, you see. So with me, I'm not focus more on the gerrymandering, you understand? I focus on the fact, say, the World Bank then pull us, we don't enough feel to say that a very good move for do. Maybe they support them all along, but when they can this last minute, they support them all along. But the last minute now where they can say the 10, they say no, you can't, because they don't see and say, they're not training people then properly. Now on that basis they pull us. So it not make sense where the statistics people that they say, oh, where they know they work with them all this time, last minute they pull out. Of course, if they work on all this time when they do things properly, and then last minute now when they not do one properly, then get right for pull out. You see, mind you, this not their money. If they go put their money there, and they get forget concerns because the government don't see say the other group of politicians say the other various parties then they against it. And if World Bank go put money there, say if now money we then get for payback, you get me? If let's say SLP not win the next election, any other party we can win the next election. Well, how do you go tell World Bank say, well, we been there against that. We tell them Salone puts not puts money. We tell them if any other political party will win, can cause problem for pay this money. You see, so World Bank sometimes go don't see. This is just my own personal view. You get me? So sometimes go don't see all that, take all that into consideration. You see, so they say they no go put their money because if they put their money, it will be problem for letting get the money back because even the field assistants they're not able to get money for pay them. You see, so it makes sense really for make them not carry on. You see, and these people are only protecting their funds. Then they protect their funds. You see, so one way they can protect is they don't want these other people, the other political parties, to come and tell them that, oh, we warned you, we did say that the census should not go on. You see, there be no saying we get plenty flaws. You see, but World Bank not listen. So World Bank tend to listen. You see, they listen to them and then pull back. So all they are saying, and nothing to say World Bank, they say the census not will go on. All that they say is, make them give them more time, make them train the people them properly, let them do everything, the pilots and everything where they say they need for do properly, then it likely say they go support. And World Bank not say they not do census, so World Bank not say so. All it say is they pull out because they get for correct all the things that we then need for. Wait a minute, then they can correct the errors the APC make. Then now World Bank they say una say correct on your errors, then no one correct your errors. You see, I mean una for correct on your errors and faults. The issues that we they not reason una say for correct and fault, then una can go now for go correct with the APC then do. You see, but una can't take wrong for go correct wrong. You see, so that's what I have to say for now.
What I would do, I would ask the technical team, made them just put the letter on the screen for people where World Bank release for sure say thank you for sure say the funding where them guys. So in fact they may not give them say they may not give them technical support and funding when half of the funding we don't get earlier. So what they do at this time, then we'll just divert the rest of that funding to area they would say be more of help. So now, me own concern now, where we talk about this one before we play some of the videos and what we get. My own concern now is that what's that the importance of a census is people are not cooperate. People don't go for cooperate because how the census work, make I explain to my family a little bit. So most of the people are not going for their house. Not to say they tell you power pipe for staying at your house, they for can't country by for something to census the work. People don't go for on the normal business. They expect them also when they come at those, when they meet at least one or two people at the house, where they will talk to. So when they come, they meet tonight, they ask you, what's your name, how long you don't, what's your age, how long you don't know this house, how many at the house. So that information, and then they put together. So if this person here say, okay, now I'm in at this house, the person says, okay, now we're 5 in there, now we're 10 in now, 15 in there. Depending on that information the person give you, and go to the next house now. So when they compile the information, they are put them together for get the sense the population, because. Just imagine this when you do that now for 2 weeks, the president say he give the mandate for just 2 weeks. And the people that were trained, they say they're trained about 15,000 people then. Now look at the population about 7.5 million. When I calculate the 15,000 people for 7.5 million, now I take them say every one of them 15,000 people are wouldn't train. Supposed for them on the field, which not going to be the case because they'll never be supervisors and some for be engineers, some government officers or for them on the field. But Lord assume say all that 15,000 people and then at the field. Each person is supposed to account 50,000 person inside these 2 weeks. Each one supposed to account 50,000. When you count that 50,000 times 15,000, it gives 7.5 million. So now, with what they go at the country, people and talk to them, they cooperate. How important is census get for B? We do not get the real number.
Yes, but the thing is, sorry, go on.
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
remember
go
saying,
ahead. No, no, go ahead, go
no,
ahead, go ahead.
finish up, you see. It's a,
Go
but the thing is,
ahead. If
why
the
would, why would this government want to spend? Well, if I not want to because they don't spend them already, why would this government spend 7 million when people don't even have water, drinking water? People they struggle, they don't get light safe. People they don't get nothing. Look, all them picking and they see we get all kind of sickness. Whether they resort to social media for let them help them for treatment. All the time they do for do. Why government no puts them money they do for correct certain things at first? You get me? You know what? This government they get misplaced priority. You get me? Yeah, this government they know they get an act together. Waiting them for put at the top. Nine they know they put at the top. At all. You see, when they go spend this kind of money when people they not get it for it makes sense. That kind of money where they go spend. Okay, let me ask something. This government be don't kind of will be there, you see them the shape money. And I even in the talk say, I think one of the people, I don't know whether JJ Safa or whether somebody else gets me, the talk say, well, because they don't get whether not the president himself, I don't know, I don't remember now, whether they talk say, oh, well, because if we want to forgive now microcredits, we not go get microcredits. Come on, because they still say people they want to do business, they want microcredit. They want to use that microcredit say for full people then now. You understand? When I get all this money, why una no use that money dey for create employment for them people there or for create business for them people there instead of telling them that una open una doors, una count people then, you see, then we go give una microcredit, you see. Then we don't see microcredits been on there in the past. Wait a minute. Microcredit been on there in the past. I'm trying all my best not to mention the first lady here because it has nothing not to first lady business day. But microcredit, we don't see where SLPP they spend them. I'm telling you, I can tell you now, say, me come on at enough. You get me? How many investments they don't care good at enough? Waiting at this way they don't care. It has nothing to do with the census because census being already there in place. They may not have been agreed with the result of the census, you understand, but it is in place. How many? You see, because all the things that them they can think of, even all them part of them, how many part go in the northern province? You get me? If you see them send something go any side na side where they want for go win election, maybe some parts of Cambia and some parts of Alabama, side where they want for win election. You get me? You see, you go na the Bombalay side, say go na plenty other side there. Waiting and on gets from this government, they are just using it for full people then. You see, for full people they say they want to give an investment, they want to we know say census can create way for let them help people then. But the manner in which this SLPP government is going about it, it's so clear that they get something and one thing, and I think I've seen one of the they say they were statistician they come in that's something different that they say. You see, so you find out say that's not one of the reasons we make the opposition they stand up. You see, because when they tell them, then when the other people they talk about different thing. You see, and they even indicate something to the effect, say, where we don't go if they see, say, they need boundary, they get for the limits, the boundaries, then they go to one. You see, that statement there, it make the opposition now say, well, then they want to do something and election is coming. This is not just APC, because they say that APC want for profit. What about Femi Clojos calling party? You see? Friends not just only party, not being get extra, you know, being get
what you mean the try for do first you mentioned George Safa when the chief minister now in audio I will ask is the technical team them play the audio. Let me listen to what George Safa say, then we will come because maybe we don't understand. What's that the
I remember
argument?
Majid Safa, but somebody. I remember Majid,
No, I did Safa
but
because
somebody.
yes,
Okay.
I listen
This is
technical team
okay.
background. So I will make them play a lot of
Okay.
family, we'll listen to them, they will come back and talk and listen to what he say. So if the technical team will play that audio there for we where the chief minister talk about.
Family members say President Biobi don't pronounce the commencement of the census on the 10th December 2021 on a Friday. And when President make a pronouncement, one of the responsibility of the Chief Minister to follow up on that. So I've been tracking the delivery, the challenges they would have done, we don't address them together. I'm very pleased for the policy. They are very comfortable as I speak to you to carry on the census. The obligations of the part of government have been honored, largely honored, and the census is on course. So which are really good for another assurance of one. From both the technical point of view, security point of view, or the logistical point of view, I want you to be really, really assured.
Okay.
So that within 48 hours, and 24 hours to 48 hours, whatever is not done, we may be able to do it.
Okay, so you go there for get the assurance whether the census go old or not. So when you go there, what do you gather from statistics, Salone? What's not the details them we then give?
But it's not more for getting assurance, rather than to determine the ready of preparedness, because they don't assure we.
Okay.
And they even advise we for President for make the pronouncement. They assure we that they are ready, the training don't take place, they take the final exams, they will begin deploying their staff across the country, then show the systems. And the thing about it is that a digital system, as they enter, as they collect the information they can find itself on the server. So all those issues of data entry, data processing, all those traditional things not there again in the system. It's a whole digitized process. I will provide for Lancy in this channels on top.
Okay, so this process we get so many controversies around them, especially we start first with COP, we get different political parties them way involved in their affairs. And then they talk to their supporters and not to take part, and then suddenly they take part the census process. Waiting governments make up of this.
Well, I can go and talk about other people then. In democracy, all man they make noise. But COP, whether not Thomas's COP or me COP, the NGO, not to political group. So me no want to talk about what they talk. I mean, for the benefit of the public, the public understands the census not to force politics no more. It is used for community-based programming. It is used for district level plan. It is used for sector plan. It is used for resource allocation. It is used for several things. The use of census or boundary delimitation are just one aspect. So if Tomasi's Scope not able to know that then they're their own business. They will left and their own condition. Then the NGO talk to the activists. They are just activists.
But then still get followers.
No, they are fine. They are activists. The fact is not a political group. So not they don't talk. Many one react to that. No one make the important. The organization registered by the PPLC, recognized by the PPLC, may recognized personally.
When we talk about the APC party, we are the main opposition party. Then SEF gets their own problem around the census. We made them say that they boycott the process, and SEF they talk to their supporters. They not go take part by the process. We to make up of their stance.
Because they don't like their supporters, they don't like the people that lie no more they lie. Now power no more they want. That means they tell the people that say no. But you don't go tell you people that bombard it or when you struggle, so when I not go register, when I not make the country, so you are telling them men will not count you, and the next 5 years to 6 years coming, you don't get resources because now that country they give government the numbers for the country. We said 10,000 for the you go tell the men will not register, they 5,000 register, which meaning you are providing a formula, the basis for under resource for resource for reduce the resource allocation to those areas. Now, love Randy, I expect the APC to be very responsible party, but it's really surprised that they don't behave responsible about it now. But let me say this: APC they reached 2015 census. They carried Falaba district. They do constituency the gerrymandering. They do children the amalgamation, all that kind of thing. Did they still win the election? They still lost. We still flag them. So if you go rely on census, you go still the loss. So what are they fear? Then you know all those things. What they anticipate who will do? They lost an election.
So when they boycott, if they boycott the process, this will get impact on the census. So as as government, una still go ahead and do the census.
Nobody's going to stop the census. That's not done for stop the census. Census is going ahead. Anybody who venture for deal with turning him on a crime against state people. So the law will take its course. As far as we know, this training don't go on. They don't go to training. They don't take the exams and today all these records are done. Now everybody has been cooperating. So that talking about boga talk. Then go and let people. I mean, it's no go can them. If you let possible, you go say go count. Yes. I mean, family then if finally you make yourself available for you to be counted and you host. The census going to push it. Don't tell you now. You know. If they don't count you, there are a lot of things that they will go with the call. We go losses. If we are not get numbers down there, we don't qualify for clinic, we don't qualify for school, we don't qualify for other support. You have nobody to blame because that numbers they would use for allocate resources to now. As you don't qualify for even microcredit, and the woman they really need microcredit, but we don't know how many women in this country. So the mammy there at the big one. If I have microcredit, tomorrow, if I don't know how many women in every village. So they distribute the microcredit tomorrow, the money for phone. We go make sure still go to that village and they will know the number of women. But if they say 70 women for day, now only 20 register. If we get money go for 20 people, not blame you, 20 register and they will get them. So me appeal to una do ya. And I know listen to land West Western Tobacco Corp they cause that their own business and they activists then not listen to that. The APC party with the express then a mature party with the call on their men and behave maturely. And if they show love to the people there, encourage the people there for come out. By telling the people not to come out to be counted is showing dislike for them. You need to show no love.
All right. Well, we're sorry for the end of the audio side. They make too much noise. But you mean to talk about the interview in the judges have conduct where you talk about, say, then they do this sense of a developmental reasons that, like, in case people don't have forget microcredit, then people will have to allocate them from certain areas and then we go. They will know the population and give them what they deserve at that area. So if they don't count them, then we lose the benefits they or then we cheat themselves. So waiting you will take on our input in your own, our incel in your own side of this for the people will come out and get counted.
Well, actually, first of all, when JJ Safa say they don't love the people there, I think that statement say now overstatement. How you go say they not love the people then? You see? They like the people then. You get me? Now a wrong choice of word you use for say they not like the people then. They like the people then, JJ. First of all, waiting at development when I don't care go self na Bombali to start with anyway. Well, I don't care because since you cite Bombali na yaso, so I go talk about Bombali. You get me? You see? What development when I don't care go na Bombali with all the money that this government don't spend, all the money that when I don't waste, all the money them where the president will say he will continue for the fly. You get me? All the money that they wait and don't waste. You see? You tell me any development when I don't care go na Bombali. Maybe when I show one or two things about local because when I'm interested in, you see. But for some reason, when they punish Bombali just because the former president come on Bombali. So when they punish Bombali, so don't come and use it to say, when I not love when people then that they go suffer. Because what you they try for do now, you they try for make the people afraid. Now you threaten the people then for let them afraid say, oh, if we not can do another, they not go give me this and all. Well, when I know very well, so I not get for spend na Bombali, when I not get for spend na plenty areas of the north. When I know that. These 3 years old I don't come, 4 years old I don't come. What when I don't do now in area there and for una say, when you pass on again, it's so much. I'm not think to say JJ, you for say that, JJ Safa. You don't for say that. You see? You don't foresee that. You see, the Bombali people then they're not full anymore. For make a lot of Bombali no more, for let the other even NGC support. Unity Party support. You see, so this is not about an APC thing. It's just about you people have an ulterior motives. You see, when I get ulterior motives, period. You see, no two ways about it. The SLPP gets ulterior motives. Why all of a sudden? This is the matter BOO they say no they talk. When the campaign come, no see and they talk now. In fact, that don't exonerate Fatima self say now not to Fatima they talk. Now Inky tell Fatima for talk. Because look now where they talk. Look how it emphasize You see, they talk now like I'm a man. You get me? We nobody talk. You get me? Because they want to win this next election at all costs. So they are doing everything. You make mention, say, APC, then change boundaries, they still lost the election. You understand it? Mind you, now by just small margin, now by small margin, APC lost this election. Lord, I know that now. You get me? So you not get nothing but una the way out una they do one. You get me? And we don't see how una they behave from una kind power. I'm talking about the BO government. I'm not talking about the entire SLPP people them who you understand, because the SLPP people and then you get innocent people that when not just vote over than they vote. Then the same situation where people that are north and other areas SFD. But at the top of BO government, then get waiting they want. They know waiting they want. They don't plan and just like we are listening to somebody audio today, the person see they don't know anything they do, they just the fair way no more now. For let them just get numbers of family efforts, lock things out. You get me? You see, we are not against census, but we are against what they do. If the parliamentarian they sensitive object, you understand it? World Bank, but me not the stress on the parliamentarians and you side or with the APCC. I only mention it because you try for make people that are not and province and afraid. We are not afraid, not as them. We are not afraid. They the open call una for not afraid. No, let me finish. Let me finish, please. Let them afraid because at the platform where you want for me to talk this through or for talk this through. You understand?
Sure.
No, anybody within a Freetown, Southern province or Eastern province, let people they're not afraid. Nothing not they happen. If the one that way they give them money, the one that way they before and this thing, they say something all right. They say una just correct what they say. Why say they gonna want this thing power this week and next week? Why? They say una correct what the mistake that una don't make una train the people then fly. Una they talk about digital. Una just want the name say Salone and I get una do one digital. Una get plenty computer they say. You see how people they go do knows. They go do no say, you see, the thing they work fine. First of all, that brings one question on my mind. You see, una be involved all the political parties then, una they do all the arrangements and they una be involved then. You see why the people then they're so skeptical about this whole thing, they're not sure about this whole thing, they were not involved. That they no more just sit down to themselves. They put everything together. Or also they just expect no more to be they can and tell the APC, the Unity Party, the NGC, and they get to the other party they say, well, this not this, so just follow, let them just follow suit. You understand? Because they're not followers. No, they are not followers. If we don't involve them from day one, you see, this not be forbidden. But because we are not involved them from day one, some of them mistakes they are with there now. If we not be involved them, therefore we don't highlight all this and they don't correct them. But we are not involved them. But you know one thing about this government, you see, they are used to taking matters into their own hands. They not respect parliament. They know they do nothing. They can just stand and do it. They want to look all the lunge where they say they want to do things the way parliament for approve. Then they do them. They're not going to parliament say. You see, so it's consistent. This is a habit. You understand it? So if the opposition people in a party there now they stand up this time, I think you understand it because of the history of this government. That's make they support the opposition parties then. Because they get a history. They get history not for go along with parliament. They get history for doing what they want to do. You say nobody no go ask me. Now who didn't have power. But I'm sorry, understand? You cannot just go whatever you like. You see, the public themselves get power. If the public they say we not want is one the public voice if they go far. I wonder how we not understand that. Or una understand that one just they pretend. You get me, eh? You see? So I think maybe so forth.
Oh well, see, Nico come in from a different. I'm going to take this from a different point of view. To me, I feel say when we talk about the census or census of Sierra Leone, when we consider APC as SFPP, to me, I look at two evil they fight for righteousness. Now that is scenario. You will find out say they two evil they fight for righteousness kind of fight. The average Sierra Leonean way. not involved in any political party and with the laws. Because if you watch what the APC do with the gerrymandering and everything, you watch what SFP try for do with the gerrymandering and everything, who that they suffer. Then both they do it for political gains, and at the end of the day, individually, poor Sierra Leonean who is supposed to benefit, not the benefit now, because neither one of them listen. The previous time they did not listen and go and do what they want for do, they lost the election. That and say come see with no regards, and see themselves for do the same thing, with no listen to the people them. At the end of the day, then they steal the bag and they steal the bargain on the Sierra Leone and say they're not going to think on the union, they're not going to fight back. They will come for sell anybody. I don't know if not just then still continue for taking people for granted. Because if APC they could instead talk APC do a lost election, we then go get different constitutions them, on the Falaba and the Carine, they still lost, even though they get extra seats. Then why make una still they push this one? Because to me, my own concern now, if SPP really, or the BA administration really want to fix the problem now, if not for fix the problem, not for doing the right way. This is how you fix the problem. If you don't come and don't test what people and say no, we don't want to right now, we want to step back. If we not do it in 2025, people are not getting no other way. They're not going to reject them because that's the right time for them in 10 years. Even though the president get the mandate for doing, that not mean saying that you go do them against the wish of the people. Then. Because for make this stay work, you need the cooperation of everybody in the country. You go for spend more time for sensitizing people in the importance of census. The problem is the political parties, because of their own political gain and their own selfish gain, they put them before the interests of the country. Like what I say, the reason why make somebody like me go online and do them, because they explain to me that this country say, if I do them, it's beneficial to me. They're giving so much of the advantage. I don't even look at the gerrymandering side of it. I don't even look at the political side of it. I look at the benefits we will get, the picking we get. Because if I look at the traffic congestion, we go there. If they give me more road, it will be better for me. If we begin and get better school, if then we get more parks in, they extend the area. We get more representatives in the parliament or na Congress, we will get more voice. So I look at the positive side of it. So this to me, I feel say APC themselves not get the voice now for camera. They make you can find out say this say the young voice not go loud. The only time people that take them serious now with the other political parties they can't join in. The mistake with SPP they try for do right now, they say that the same to APC may not listen to the people there. Even though APC they may better small because they may wait until 2015. Again, then why not go beer? Because what your question I ask is what will happen in 2025? Because if we not do one now, there's a possibility to say this figure not go for right, and with all man they reject, it's not go for right anyway. What are the importance? Why would they spend this money? What thing will they get out of a citizen there? Because people are concerned and legitimate. This is not about the way you talk about it. No, this is not just about not. I listen to audio with people that Kenima said they complain. I get listen to people that Connolly said they complain. Yes, and Diana Konomani pull audio. Other two APC people and pull audio with two different messages in. One they say wanna do them, other one say not do them. So you can find out say this said it all over. Even Kenima, Bo, Kailan, you get somebody talk say love we do them. Somebody talk say not do them. The same thing at the north. So this is not a nationwide problem. And the president say power ain't go on with them. The other thing is that money when they take for Spain, now other side they go cut that money there. That money they go to another area where we need because we not get money, we not bigger than. So if you World Bank don't withdraw, the only time we continue for them for go take money other area for just can't feel their ego now. And if that happen, what you gonna forget out of them? Because to me, I'm not worried about the APC and SAPP or all that. This is what who these guys are. They take people for granted. And but again, now the thing is with Salone get for land. Because at the end of the day, most of the people in our land and social media, so now they can forbid the people that are willing to suffer the most. What side? The APC supporters, the SAP supporters say not when they talk, say no go, not go there. This one say go there. You watch them, and the more they suffer the most because they don't even know what NTA mean. They don't even know the kind of money they spend. They don't even know the benefits or the negative side of it. Because most of them just follow what the politician they tell them. People are where they able to listen on their own. People are able to do the research on their own. People are where they know what they go on. We're not too boku. Because we didn't look at the political side of it. We look at the benefits. That would say now they're saying they're going to do it. After 2 weeks, they don't do this thing. What are the benefits I don't forget out of it? This is not the question we need to try to ask. I want me to sensitize me on that. Waiting Salone the benefits in the next 2 weeks when I don't do any census. Because if the figure not right, waiting I don't get out of it, which if people don't participate, it's not going for right. So these are the questions we need to ask. Yeah, go ahead. I know say you want to say something. Go ahead. I think you sound
CEO,
okay. Go. Yes, ma'am.
this is not the question where we they ask. You get me?
Yeah.
Benefit no day. Then go only do them for make them one for let them achieve the your secret aims where they just know to themselves where the other political parties they don't know. You see? Then they go then go begin say then do this and do this and do this. One thing I know for sure, get me, they know they do this census because of the benefits. So we all know say census get benefits. But these BO governments, they are not doing it for the benefits. And I hope so people then go listen to this program where they get so. Let them hear you with a few opinion panel. You get me. I mentioned Nerve, you see, because I get more affiliations to the north and south and east. We are not no much. You get me? You see, at least you come on at inside and day, so which is good. You can talk you see. So yes, you see. So me mention that. You see, I can mention that and Freetown because those are the two side way I come out. You get me? You see, but this census enough for take place at all. Enough for take place. And it not go take place. Because outside confusion day, it not go take place. And the World Bank, if any party can win to SLPP, they not go pay them their money again. I see the reason why World Bank don't pull their money. You they go put your money, they go let spot your money, you know they not going to pay you. No, you don't go there because you go pull and commodity quick. You see? So basically that's it. When they talk about benefits not there, but outside me they hammer me on point. My own point is this. You get me? They're not trying the people then fine. If we're not trying the people then fine, now so bad results and will they get. That now one. And secondly, they're not involved all the political parties then, the heads then. You get me? They're not involved then. They're not called and so to a round table talk from where this thing begin till now so that as they go along, everybody go to come with their ideas. They go to do correction. Because these people have no intention of getting any of these people involved. They wanted to do their own thing. They don't want anything to stand in the way. He said, we must, now that's make BOB them, they talk, say, we could go now, we'll win election, we did it for the next 10, 15 years. Well, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Because BO is going out.
APC time, win elections. So, you're not going to win elections. That's what I'm saying.
There's too much suffering at the country. No matter what they do now, they're going out. You understand? You see? So make them just left. Waiting they annoy me now is, well, you know, annoy me. But waiting annoy, which is a they can make people afraid. You get me? Would they use me, they use this platform. And they use this platform for tell people they now say, we're not afraid of, now lie. They just want to unafraid. They know they can use no microcredit. Not to any thing where they come on now at the next election. Whether they win the next election, now then. For the life of me, election they can soon. Why they not go just wait? You understand, eh? Then they do one the other thing. But for them insisting now, people, you know, they give people that eat for it. Look, you know how many people they in a hospital where they know they pay them? Look, the teachers they all the time they know they pay them. One teacher know the way assistant when they say it wrong because I think the frustration and everything. He left for stop all the people then. Yes, the man frustration making they drink one headmaster and everything. Are these not the people that they should try and help? Help them people and so forth. Census, Bio, what is wrong with you? When they go put 19 billion when people they not get eat for eat. People they not get water for drink. People they until when I get light all the time, 24 hours that make. When I get water all the time that's me. When a family gets water and light all the time that's me. So you people don't care what is happening to the masses, the poor masses. When I don't care about them, you see, it's about time we get for talk. You understand? Eh? In fact, when they talk, I didn't have VOS, but what I'm saying now is my own personal views. Now, waiting me think, now they talk so. Not to waiting VOS say, now waiting me they say, now me they talk so. Because me as no, me as
they know that. They're not so
Being a Sierra Leonean, I can go register for vote, and they come back, wait and wish for vote, and they go back, I go vote. So I get every right for talk. And I get every right for educating the people then. Let them know, say, when I not take JJ stuff away, they talk na nothing, na fully the fool, na for long, afraid. Let una go count. When I not count, as Femi Claude just called, say, I want count you, meanwhile, count me, a police case, not to plaba, you see? Not to plaba. So waiting at this thing. If the people then say they don't want let them consent, they don't let them consent. You get
Talking
me?
about that, and you say Lima Mena AYV, I work technical team for piloting Lima sister will come and explain Lima, you know what it say concerning I mean get in Twitter it put out there, but I guess people are not doing about I know put it low, just listen to it and see if they will come back and sensitize people back on that as well. Let the technical play Lima and speech story to them, they will come back.
Not as long as the actions of every citizen, right, they infract the existing laws of this country, the police get right for calling to questions. They can do that proactively.
So what justify when you say somebody can be arrested if they say let them people take part by the process?
Lamara, I know they with the Census Act now, but the Census Act, if my memory serves me well, section 14 and 15 make provisions say they obstruct the work of a census.
Okay.
Or census officials, especially when they work within the dispense.
You should not obstruct.
Yes, it's lawfully carried out.
So, but that different from saying don't take part in the process.
Now obstruction.
Say
obstruction.
For saying they don't count me.
Technically, yes. Now obstructions. First of all, let you even say, let them not count you. It's a directive. It's an instruction contrary to the directives of the president.
Okay.
Yeah, that in itself an infractions of the law, right?
So now based on that, the police they act now. We don't invite.
Donna one. There is a statutory instrument to the effect. We form part. We constitute the laws of this country. You understand? There is a constitutional provisions that the work the census is doing is a legitimate work.
Okay.
So for any individual citizen incite, right, the population of this country as against the laws of this country, as against the lawful directives of the president, that's an infraction of the law, and lawlessness down there. And there's one thing, as a good citizen, we are morally bound to abide by the law. Because only when I keep me on side of the law, you keep you on side of the law, CD gets right for enjoy the laws of the country.
Okay.
But if I decide, say, I incite you for go against the law, one way or the other, you infringe on the enjoyments and rights and privileges where CD is supposed to enjoy under the laws of this country.
CD.
And this now, this stage, government they come in and say, no, Lamana, you have to be forced to comply by the law.
CD, you not flout the law.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I thank the technical team because I know you talk about this one. I've asked technical team, made them go up and put the law in they talk about because we own job now for sensitize ourselves. We're not there for just listening to what people and say, but let we put this stuff up there and talk about them here because again, knowledge is power. So this is not the section Census Act of 2002, 14. They say having possession of any information which to his knowledge has been disclosed in contravention of this act, published or communication that information to any other person, he shall be guilty of an offense and shall be liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 100,000 leons or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months and imprisonment. Now that 14. Then 15 say any person who hinder or obstructs the chief census officer or any of the person employed in the execution of this act in the lawful performance of any duty or in the lawful exercise of any powerful imposed or conferred upon him or under this act shall be guilty of any offense and shall be liable on summary conviction of the fine. So basically, now, if you mean not exceeding 15,000 leons, so I know they go to 16 and 17 because it just in talk about 14 and 15. Now let me explain what it was because in tweet it's put a tweet out talk say if you say enough for count you, that then put out say if you say enough for count you therefore arrest you. So now I say all expense include with the approval of the council for the purpose of any census shall be charged on the consideration fund. The council may be statutory instruction may prove for the better carrying into effort of the purpose of this act. So basically, in Twitter, he put a tweet out say, if you say you come out to make people not agree, make them not agree, make them count them, therefore arrest you. And we understand, say, I think somebody in name something common from the north, when an APC person is, let me invite them. Then it's Bright, instead they may invite them police, which I think so I get to know the technical thing for Ghana audio with the police spokesman for the police and interview for can listen to them after we analyze this one. So basically, the law not tell you, say, if you talk to the agreement and county, if I arrest you. Law be clear that side. Because what you send at the tweet and what you can send at AYV are two different things. The law tell you, say, if somebody can do much for can't do the work, or somebody that still say and do government in work for count people them. If you not for them count you, go on about your own business. But make you not disturb the person. No go and bug them for doing work. Not stop them, not do anything for impede them for let able doing work. If you do that, the law will hold you. But if it's not you and say, I want count you or can I do not say now how much as they answer you, the law not supposed to hold me, not to by force. So you can love you understand now. This one a duty of a citizen, so then can I do most, then they allow and expect you as a citizen for making you cooperate with people and because the importance of the census like could explain and for let it improve on an area. So this it needed incorporation of everybody. But if people, and let me can talk, say, if the law tell you, say, if a certain number of people then reject the census, then you're supposed to put it on hold and get a meeting and come together on a sit down and know why make the people then reject them, who are able to convince them or make them understand it's important so that they will cooperate. Because the important now is to forget the right number. You know, we get the right number, people will not cooperate. So the cooperation is very, very important for let everything go through now. So that for say you go arrest somebody, put in a jail, you're not going to forget the right number because if all man towers will not give the number or you can arrest well, what's not important of the census. So just for make we sensitize people because we own job now for make sure so we put the truth out there and make people know what's in the go on. So over to you, Antikadi. I think so. I don't know if you want to add something there.
Yes, you say where it talk about lawful, you get me? You say talk say a lawful act. Not so it's a lawful act. Well, from waiting we not or you, Lima, mentioned the word lawful act. You get me? From waiting we are not there. But waiting we see the performance in parliament. The leader of the opposition, when a qualified a lawyer, you get me? Instead ought to say the procedure, the method where they use for lay the table, the thing at parliament is wrong. In fact, they're not involved them from day one. They had to force them on several occasions about this census for saying na so. Eventually they not do it correctly. And inside that very parliament thing, if parliament force don't say no census, now parliament force don't go against the law, the thing when they say a lawful act. Now parliament they make law. If they force don't go deny and say it's not lawful, waiting they want to do. You get me? Waiting I expect the people therefore do. You get me? The people are only going by their parliamentarian, waiting and see the parliamentarians and they do. And then when they inside they then convinced that it wasn't done properly. And then an external body don't come for different reasons, say that they pull out because it's not right. That itself don't show say it's not a lawful act. Not a lawful act because they're not done properly, they're not trained people then. In actual fact, you understand it? Not dishonesty. You get me? Not dishonesty. They want to go fool the people then. When are not trained the people then fine. The machines, the computers are not working properly. The people don't even know how to operate it, you understand? And then you're telling me you're going to conduct a lawful act, you get me? I don't think that is lawful because the people then get law safe, law safe, you understand? And where the law day, you get me? I can go now collect and go interpret them, you get me? Because it's a safe Lima, then they go lawful, but we're not looking the intricacies of all these things, you get me? You see? So if the parliamentarians they don't say will not agree, what is wrong? If you answer, then it's bright. Femi Claudius Cole, tell them people then say will not cooperate. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. You get me? If they do things properly, then that's when a lawful, because if they don't do things properly, waiting the law say and everything and do and fine. That thing then now you go say they obstruct, therefore do their work. You get me? Yeah, but they don't do things properly. You get me?
Well, you see, again, you know, say the law, the law can say interpretations and in so many ways there.
Yeah.
Like you talk about parliamentarians, well, at the same time, then they tell you say where the president sign a bill, it become a law, because then even the parliamentarians then they make the law, it not become a law until the president sign up. So then they talk now say, well, on the day the president sign this bill, it don't become a law. It's a lawful now, become a law because it don't sign up to law.
Yeah.
And the process. The process is parliament. The parliament they do the law. I mean the law, but not to the make a law. The president for putting ink on top of for it become a law with a sign out. So now when you look at, to me, I look at say what are the importance or what in the benefits for arrest people for something where you don't even warrant arrest. Because when you talk about obstruction, me feel say obstruction depend on how you define them. If me tell you say another, because again I think that's a definition that way I think say they go too much into the law where it become controversial. I'm not saying you're not a lawyer, but we don't go too much into the law, but I just say just a simple thing. I think if somebody will look and say, I don't want to be counted. It's your right, but don't get counted. They will talk to you, don't obstruct that person, or you don't influence the person that you know. So as a lawyer, you feel at that point when they look at say, because they influence other people and say make them not do make them look at now and say they obstruct the law. If they just say they're not do counted and sit on back, not in your right. But because they influence other people, is that constitute obstruction?
No, well, obstruction actually, you get me, you see, even saying that, you see, it is not a sense, you see, if there can be, they say, I'm not allow you to be host. You get me? You see, so they make it difficult for them to do their work. So in effect, you obstruct them from executing their duties. You get me?
Yes.
Yes. But at the same time again, I get guys na me oath. Because if I take a command na me oath na trespass. The minute I say command na me oath come out. If you want can't talk to me, go get warrant for can't talk to me. You get me? But the minute I ask you say command na me oath, you don't get no permission for them na me compound again. Just go. You get me? If you force, then a trespass. You trespass into the property. You get me? So are they going to issue warrants for the millions of people we know they go talk to them? We in effect could be obstructing, you see, but now the property they get right for say common and the property. You get me? We get for level people that understand anything and they because people that way they don't understand. When they don't understand, when Lima don't talk, you don't talk. Obstruction, you get me? The people that go begin afraid. No, when I get right for pull anybody in my property, you know, and the minute you say get out of my property, you don't get permission for enter your compound again. Not trespass. You get me? Not trespass. So if they really want can I compound now, let them go to court and go apply for one for can I property. You get me? Eh? You see?
But now you get other countries and where they will tell you say it is a mandatory effect. Because you want a proper data for many government operates. When it comes to a mandatory side of it, now they look at the mandatory side. Does that cause an effect where you can be arrested?
Well, the mandatory side is first of all, Parliament say they not lay them properly. They not follow the rules where the law say. The very law where they say we make a lawful. It gets some stipulations where they follow. You understand? It prescribes certain procedures then according to what thing we in Parliament they say. You understand? Not what I'm saying is what Parliament said, members of Parliament. You see, so if they're not fulfilled, they not go through the right procedure, you get me, then they have not passed this thing lawfully. What they are not understanding, how Mother Bio just go sign if they not pass something properly, you get me, then it go sign. You see, that is the overuse in power as president. But then again, we don't know because these parliamentarians they have reputation of selling games.
That's another thing.
You get me?
That's another thing.
We don't know if they don't sell game. We don't know if they sell game. We make Mother game for go sign that thing. We don't know. You understand? But we don't look at almost say if everything fair. They not sell game, no nothing, you understand? And then they not go through the right process, you understand? Then the right procedure, you see, then they can't go and force people say, president say, because the constitution say for follow one set of rules, we are not follow one, we are breach them and they already, you see. You the breach, you understand? And this government is good at breaching laws. This government is good at it because they know they ask. They can just go and do what they want to do. They know they ask. And if then people then they fairly call just call Mr. Bright, Yansane, they all don't see say now so then people yeah they act. We not go left there and say, well, all left there, we'll deal with it later. Oh. When I go make a grave mistake, if we not allow them say, well, when they not later we'll talk about it, don't let them do it. You understand? And say we'll talk about it. We'll not stop there now.
Well, we can't the other side of the other side of the segment where they open the phone lines there now. I understand, so we get a phone caller. We'll bring the caller in now, make them say can bombard we now so that we do the questions, so that I agree or not agree. Well, that's what we hear. This is a real conversation we get for talk about the country. At the same time, we will come back and talk about the police chief. But yes, good evening, caller. Anyone say the call from please?
Yeah, good evening, CEO. How you do?
You know, Pastor, I do, sir.
Yeah, let God bless you all. You see,
yes.
One thing in our country, you see, we say bucky food. Most of the people in the watch, we say they buck their food. Now we say they for them.
Yeah.
Salone. For let that parliament poor and rotty. Would they blame this government today? Would they blame this parliament today? But it started with the last parliament when they allow any Jack and Jigo was to do as a speaker of the house. Those courtings as they are, the way the constitution is written in Salone, the speaker of the house is very important. First time for them to become a speaker of the house, that somebody will be in repetition, it don't become a judge. At least a Supreme Court judge. The past administration come, they change that thing because they believe say they just want any Jack and G for become a speaker of the house. That then the whole thing started to go up. I respect Mrs. or Miss Johnson in argument. But look, call things by their name. Mother Biono just signed that thing became a law. That thing was presented in Parliament. We see the federal occur in that Parliament, whether that be Bitimani or Mamayoko, whatever. Because the Parliament be under construction. Whatever be the case, but APC, the Constitution say, if they lay a bill in Parliament, APC, the 10%, APC get more than 10%, APC about 40% in our Parliament. When I able to revoke all that bill back, when I can't for let una discuss it or when I even remove it. APC knew that law, they left it on the 21-day pass, that thing became mature before they take it to Manabio is signer. We go up, we can know that's in a law, an established law, let alone lie for we. The law is clear, but the whole thing started when we get illegal. People like Abbas Bunu, when they don't cook our country, they don't become criminal in our country, they don't let for wisdom say it can become the speaker of the house today. Laws, courtings as they are. That's the root cause of everything. Yeah?
Yep. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I mean, it was a candid argument to make. Look, and so the team must bring them particular, and they will elaborate on it. Next call. Good evening. What time you say the call from?
Hi, good evening. This is Anonymous. How are you do?
You know about my to do. What now you take on this topic tonight, man?
Fine, thank God. I just want for bring a little argument because recently the president say he don't complete all a mandate meaning say they don't do from A to Z and then go beyond Z. They don't accomplish everything. And on top of it, they don't build 100 schools. On top of it, they don't solve bread and butter issues. On top of it, they don't bring free education. So I just wonder, if you don't complete your mandate, which other development you want to bring? You do overdose with. But at the end of the day, they look at now for say, this whole thing just does not make sense. We get 2 more years to the next census. And if you believe in yourself for say, when are they in power for the next 10 years or more, why you not go just wait for the right time? Looking at the rush on this. And I just want to remind we First Lady, we say, if Sierra Leoneans do not comply to the rules, or if Sierra Leoneans do not behave themselves, then go bring mob justice. Dear First Lady, we dey wait for we see the power of this mob justice. Then don't they say if people not do the right thing, then we jail people them. It's more of threats and threats and threats. People are stressed out right now. It's too much stress going on. The health situation at Salone, it's detrimental. Food not there, water not there, healthcare system not there. If all this time then they waste, so they say census. Now they invest this money or something for let them build top class hospitals. Let them bring in antibiotics, then bring in medications and stuff like that for pain. It will be more beneficial because at the end of the day now we go see for say the development we they try for first through this census, this development don't can now we they see and with it. So we go agree for say yes country. But from the time when I don't can the 4 year when I lack so empty belly talk when I know they do nothing when they lie. Why should we believe you now? The last thing is congratulations to Miss Sierra Leoneans them. At least finally we they stand up for reset. Finally we they say no to injustice. Finally we all don't agree for saying this government now big bullies, and we they stand up and say no to the census. And as God permit, the census not go take. And I'm so happy about it. I'm not against the government. I'm not the PTM, big one or anything. But it's just that then said they don't deal the bullying we and then need to put a stop to this and let them know for say, as Sierra Leoneans, this is the time and we are all going to stand up for ourselves. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We get 2 more callers, lobbying them too. They will take them. We can discuss them. Look at the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What name you say please?
Hey GM, good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Almami, how are you, sir? What name you want to take on this program tonight, sir?
Me, I just want to give an opinion. What you have to say, now in this thing for lead to. It's just my opinion. I think this now long haul fight where it be say it get for lead to a deadlock. In the sense, this census so that they can be to definitely if one part of the country not participates, that's don't make the census, the data are not going to be a credible one. And the other humble and back say the past census, the data are not credible. They would go into an election. So maybe they will get a deadlock. Wherein APC not going to agree with this data. SLP just not going to agree with APC them data whatever they get. So it's going to be like a very serious issue. It has to be something like census before election or election before census. Now something like that I foresee in the future. Because nobody not trusting companies for play with the data than at the country. So maybe like that is for end up part. Trust me. Because if they say this census not credible, SLPC will say we're not going to make elections on our census, on our data. We're not going to agree. The APC says we're not going to agree with this data, it's not credible. So SLPC will say, okay, well, long get a credible census, APC say no, long go for election. So the problem is just this for up and down the road. And that's not just my opinion. It's not a fact, it's opinion. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll not get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from, please?
Good evening.
Yes, sir. What name outside the call from, please?
This is Abdullah Sisi, the call from New Jersey, US.
Yeah, Mr. Sisi, how are you, sir? What are you going to take the census, sir?
I'm fine. I will start right away with the last caller in point, Osai, and that in your opinion, it is CC this thing for be do like there'll be a time where people will say census before election or election before census because both parties to this thing are credible. Yeah, it gets some point in the sense of credibility. But my question for what they ask, where I believe, say, if I get an answer, a genuine answer to that, it will just put that to rest. Now, the fact say, would I forget issue of credibility now? If it's a people, they say the data on which they conduct election 2018, we bring them a power where APC lost. That data, they're no longer credible. And APC, they say, this data within the can do not credible, although the midterm business, they constitutionally correct, but now the fact they don't follow procedure. So would I get credibility issue here? So the last caller and officer in point makes sense in my opinion at all. So when it comes to credibility. And the other thing I want to say again, President Bio, again for taking time, they let people then down, they make they lost confidence. In the sense, this is not just about the Sierra Leonean people, whether or not the opposition or whosoever said and people are not to participate. But you don't take steps then with the very World Bank, the people who would help we fund this thing. We know say we money will get and Salone no better. If we take the go help, now make we get people who would help with them, people and they then consent for help with them, we don't work with them all along this time until at the end they say, it's they pull out because 1-2 things they will see when I know they work with we. So would I get credibility issue now? President Bioge for be careful. It's not just a similar situation to where the military say in the first 6 months they will fix bread and butter issue. By people that will be know of the other government, JJ Safa specifically. That 6 months now 4 years so the bread and butter issue not even start for fix. What time are the country they for doing? If you spend 19 billion, I think that it would be a very good start for fixed water system in one of the communities inside Freetown or even up country. So why that? APC will say we've been doing at the time. Okay, I know say the midterm thing is constitutionally correct, the president getting constitutional right to do so, but this is 2025. For make we get the other one, we're not 10 years. If you get other side and for spend this money, we're in a dire need of the people. Which one you would choose as a credible leader, as a leader we're sorry for the people as President Bianchi say, and support us. We'll see if we choose. Now, for go ahead, or start and say you go win the 2023 election on the same data where you win 2018 election, so would I get credibility issue now? So there has been a lot of this misinformation, a lot of this misappropriation of or misuse of power when it comes to money where them for use in the medical field and spend them for get buy motor car and for resident ministers, other money where them for use in other areas, use them for buy cars for paramount chiefs, where most of those, over 90% of them people, and they already get their private vehicles, part of which would have been kind of subsidizing for maintenance and fuel costs for them parties, and they instead then choose for buy new motor car. With people and the ambulance issue, will be fire disaster. We think we can't even get ambulance for take the people them. It's a lot of, but let God help we anyway. The truth now ain't gonna last. People in the public they argue and cause people who they talk to like Madam Kadi Johnson where they understood they talk. It is where you didn't see them in body language, everything say they talk because he even want to go in a power. They talk because he gets Sierra Leone heart, he gets Sierra Leone people in heart. People come against people of this nature, but the truth may go last. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, so you don't get the callers there. Now we start with because I think the first caller makes some very, very I will tell you technical to make all on the calls and first let me answer them while they will pick up the next set of calls then. They talk about something important where it say APC will get the chance for challenge this stuff in a court. They allow this stuff mature. They're not going to take the next step. They're not going to go court and not do nothing. But now they are saying something to make them know it's what that you say about the parliamentarian because we can fight we see on camera, we see and say they fight physically in the parliament, they do some things there. And then getting because remember with Tunis Minina, the last show we all Attila then when it's empty Attila. See all 10 then the ticket and say they can say they take action, then they do nothing. Then kind of are telling supporting if we go do something, they know they follow up on her. So waiting a you take because what they call us it's legitimate. When the parliamentarian may get choice for stop this theory, not stop them, say the president go sign them, it become a bill. Now they turn around and say, will not participate. Waiting you go take not to go for answer the balance question, but I just want to add that towards that.
Well, if you see now that make us say the parliamentarians are losing games, then they sell games because now say I'm somehow confused because saying that what they didn't do was lawful. I wasn't there in parliament, you see. So I don't know how it operates over there. We only did it and show we. This is why I said, you see, if the parliamentarians say, because like the first person say, APC they get plenty numbers in the parliament, people
yes,
stop things from happening. You get me? But for some reason, they only speak when things done bad. You see, because how mad you get to the point of signing that thing, they already they not make noise on that okay. We say cherry cocoa noise, you get me? It all. It's when this fracas then and this confusion then all Monday we come, they can't let cherry cocoa say. But I don't know why, because from the time where it say when I not get the procedures, now I say for don't raise the alarm, let everybody hear all man you get me, you see. But then we say don't sign down. To me, I don't know what's happening in that parliament. But it seems as if I could be wrong. But it seems as if they are using circumstances to cover their actions, eh? You get, yeah, because you see, don't they wonder if they get boku MPs and how they can allow things they go say, how they can allow say states of emergency they go, how they allow say anything they want, how they allow say that they go agreements and they go into agreements where they're not signed in parliament, not say. It's like they're just waiting when the thing don't pass now. I think they've got these things where they will forget. You see, because Israelis are known to be forgetting things anyway. Once the thing when they go say yeah 2-3 weeks, somebody they forget about that they die. You understand it? Because really this action with parliament they take. So if they don't they take them all this time, perhaps this thing not before sign. You get me? The bill government for before, but something is happening in parliament because for like I don't know, but the number of which I would like for if the total MPs on the opposition side is enough for defeat of everything. Because
well, yes, they got enough because now not be fair. The number of MPs, the parties that don't come out, the Claudia Cole, the NGC, the APC, you put them together, then for be enough parties SAPP in a parliament. So how yeah, go ahead.
Nobody is. I'm not quite sure, but the thing is, I'm telling you, when you see you get some people then at the opposition, we obviously sell game. You get me? Me some people that they will have this. You don't take not the area call their names, and they talk about themselves. You get me? How people they go in a parliament with is anything to do with the wrongs, they don't talk. They know they explain.
Let me
make something here. This has nothing to do with Kande Keller because I know people that will begin say
I'm talking about parliamentarian. We don't talk about individual now. We talk about parliamentarian.
No, but honestly, it has nothing to do with Kande Yunkela. In fact, Kande Yunkela, I'm not getting on my mindset. Why? Yes, me. Then they can say like you know, get nothing for with Kande Yunkela. But people in a parliament, we know. Now they call their names now because you see that they work with the government. Then they go, nobody knows say no with government, but not support everything government they do. You know, say wrong, you just say support everything government.
So this I mean your points now because you look at it, sometimes but look at sometimes we self can be unfair. To be fair, and we can be unfair to the ruling government sometimes. They put the blame on it, we then forget the blame. Because if the parliament will not supposed to pass the bill to them, then they'll already go ahead and do this, and that parliamentarian represents every single political party. All the party then go make meeting now, saying they boycott this year. They were in parliament. They not do their own job at that point. It don't become a law. Now the country is supposed to say we are not good. So I think that before we even put the blame on the blue ruling government, why we not turn the blame back to the same APC, NGC, C4C, and the Code party and say who's not minister become a law. I think say because they always go for turn on the ruling government and go after them. But the two sides to have for talk is who's not una represent in a parliament. We job on our job now for make sure say some identity not go through if you're not right. What's happen? How important is the parliament? Because these guys are getting paid. When they pay them, we do everything for them. Why then tell it happen? So if we're not say well, the government is bully well, the point is what are important in parliament? Why we continue for spending money? Why not spend money on something else? When I go find another job first until we're not able to do what's right. When I come back my power because I make law. Why I make law say you make sure say when I will get more power and do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, we don't say all man knows when particular power and the same thing they all go for do. They all go for bulldoze the law and abuse the law. So again, I don't know if you want to conclude because we get 4 more calls that will bring them in. I don't know if you want to say something before I bring them in.
Yeah, that is parliament, the rest of MPs in the bill, they all get for be blamed. Because if your government, they know the try for bring the other them for let things know properly. And in fact, one person said way for blame when I get the most blame that speaker of the house. Things that they happen. If that speaker of the house is it know they happen. It know they happen if they get the proper speaker of the house. All the things they are not they happen. Self game not they happen. Yes, me. Now the speaker of the house. Now in the make game they happen. I'm not saying that the speaker house they call and say yeah, una campio. But how they conduct parliament? Because we they see how other speakers they conduct parliament. They are so. You see, back in your party, when I put a speaker, you get me? It turned against them and fight them. Yes, man. It rule against them. It not support them. Even when they put on the as speaker. Oh. You see, that would not happen. You no, it will not happen in tell you. This is the thing. This time they get for beginning. Someone with integrity will go that day. You get me? Eh? Make it be speaker. You understand? Eh? Then get me in a wicked day. You get me? Eh? But I have the feeling that you get me. Eh? People that they will go do a better job. That Abbas Bundu. You get me? Eh? Yes, they will.
Okay. So let me I think so. We'll talk about the party.
Although Veronica Sise he belongs to the MD, but Veronica Sise I feel to say he go a better job than Abbas Mungo. Similarly, as APC and go must get somebody who go perform a better job than Abbas Mungo. You get me? Eh?
But the point now is that there is a process which we don't talk about now, but get a lot of people caller in. No, you get your own. Then we will continue. Look at the first caller in. Good evening, caller. With name and outside the call from please.
Yeah, good evening.
We don't
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, sir, go ahead. What time was the call from?
Yeah, Mina Lamina, they call from US.
Yeah, Mr. Lamina, you don't take on this program tonight, sir.
Yeah, I just want for tell una thank you. At least for this kind sensible program we una come up with and the submissions and so far una step down the game. I just want also tell Madam Kadi very thank you, at least for a responses them. So far, what me on the scene of the country, we woman them, especially during this particular time, they're not the they're not they're always a try for shame people them when they do bad in that country. Although we demand that we can always want for tweets. Like now where Antikadi they call name and they see CEO in say parliamentarian. You know now because of this babysitting or the babysitting no politicians here for far too long that made them don't they create serious problems in that country. I just see recently an audio where the mayor, this democracy summit in the USA, that woman, let God help her. At least now the woman were able to tell the world exactly what thing they happen in that country. With judiciary na zero. Of course, the parliament now minus zero if possible. And so shameful. So with that kind of judiciary, which kind of serious investment will they think of in that place? They know. APC they get their own problem. But unless we get one thing, they consult, no matter what. You understand? Because if the president get the right for hire or fire, when they consult them, you go read them, they holla, no matter what, you must call them, then talk. So now that make what we talk about the census, even that 2015 when they talk about census, at least in get that international recognition. But with this man, when a BO, when a recent president, them are that power, tendency, anything, what in them want now for stand. So these are the problem. Even the parliamentarians, a lot not they blame them. The guy then gets one thing for let them able to kick anything out. They forget 2/3. And when you check from all the oppositions there now, they're not able to make 2/3. So they actually challenge issues there. Some of who they follow the deliberations there at the parliament, then they do very well. But when it comes in terms of voting, the nay and the yay, we don't see. What's in the speaker? What they feel for do now, they do. You see, these are the challenges that some of their opposition parliamentarians they do. And then again, even we get some of the parliamentarians that we not get integrity. You understand? For the sake, you understand, of the country. Even me, if I didn't have SLPP, if I see a bill, you understand, when they against Sierra Leone, trust me, my brother, I just stand up just like Tawa. What did they do? You see, more than few. We also get with chiefs them. Whereby the chiefs are they always there at the government side. Whether bad or so. So this now another issue again we will get for the raise up, but then chiefs there, they know they do well for in that country. They're all there on the government side, which is bad. And then people and they at least and people are all they expect a lot from them. You see, but things like that not they happen.
All right.
You see?
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
With this new direction. So you see, we'll be expecting most of them for let them they change them now. And the thing that this whole service support this direction, but you see how they see this direction, they go and look, they go from back to worst. So I tell you, thank you, bro.
Thank you very much, sir. Look at the next caller. Good evening, caller. With any notes that call from, please. Yeah, good evening, caller. If you could turn the set down small. With any notes that call from, please.
Yeah, Jeremiah, I call from New York.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I like we they put facts on the screen. And I take them from the last word we used to say, which is very unfair to the government. My sister, I mean, look, say, because I see and write the social media commentator, but it's like a message, it's like a partisan. They talk one thing where they talk, say they do census last 2015. Which development where they care go na the north? Where an SBD, they don't mention Landy. Now if they talk say this census, which development they go care go? That don't clear say they don't get a site to support. There also a and I like when you bring JJ Safa a message and it talk inside Trio because I want to believe, I not just say I know, but I want to believe say the message when they preach, it talks say how JJ Safa talks say If anybody will not come out, no give you microcredit. Thank God you bring the message. They used to have the try for talk say when they vote, when they count, they go know how many women they deny so that if not 30 women they let's assume say 30 women they deny. When they go with development, they will go with development where they engulf 30 people there. But if they just get 20, then they go with 20 where in 30 people they need it. So there is a disadvantage on the side of the people they need. That is one of the important about census. I don't do census in New York here. Just like we talk, we tell about funding, whether I do you understand? So me to look at and say, and I want them, sister, let me look at the statute. Fine, you bring up the statute. And I also, we talk say in a lawyer, but I expect say a lawyer for no constitution. Every branch, me I'm not an activist. I know everything about constitution when I be back home. Now only now here I can read small. But I be go challenge police. But I go to court. I be get special place in court for money to have procedure they go. So I want them the sister be affair with the constitution, also affair how parliamentary procedure can go. Because you really mentioned saying that some people they lay and they lay for 21 days and initially they go fetch when the parliament they decide for rehabilitator. They go fetch, they're not allowed. And even a year, when the Republicans don't want to agree, they stop. They allow una put on the floor. But in the opposition side, they need to allow they put the thing on the floor. Because when you put on the floor, you have also act the way they give you the right for bring out issues where they look at the whole thing. But they need to do one. But because, and me want to, let me sister understand, Steve, census not only determine whether they win election. Because APC do 2015 census, they don't win. And even they do up to 16 by elections, they only win 4. So you know they determine about this area. If let's say disaster take place, they go able to know say okay this area now so people that don't die. So how many they don't left? So if they are taking any developmental support or any assistance, they will able to know. Or if in our schools or if in our health center, where they talk say they do census. I mean let us be very fair. Customized car now and next get. Waiting actually, my sister, let me point her out where another don't do not the north, especially like McKinney, where we go really proud of as Sierra Leoneans. We need to talk on the aspect of being a Sierra Leonean. You understand? Let us look at it from that angle. Then when the last call the chat for talk say, and let's be the consult. Where if they sack Sasumana, you don't consult nobody. Where if they sack, you know parliament, where if they sack, which was very unconstitutional, where if they sack Lamina Nakono. You don't consult nobody. I mean let us be very fair. Sister, you know what?
Thank you. All right, thank you, caller. I'll get 2 more. We'll get 3 minutes. Okay, you want to go up to team more than 3:30. I'll let the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name was the call from?
Yeah, this is Nakumo. I call from New York. Good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Komo, what are you going to take on this program tonight, sir?
Well, music this evening, I just want to reaffirm the second to last caller. We see enough for blame parliamentarians there. And indeed, for a very long time, I don't blame parliamentarians there, but when I don't study the trajectory of the parliament, I no need for blame parliamentarians again for waiting they go on through. President Bill no be ever stupid for impose Abbas Bondo as the speaker. For whatever the opposition leaders want oppose or for invite anybody, how many times they don't call for let them call the finance minister for go explain the then finance minister for go explain about this guy in reports, nobody reports in a parliament, he receipts the way they pull. There is nothing the opposition can do in a parliament without the approval of the speaker, the deputy speaker, the clerk, and the head of government business, where they all nice LPP. They don't make no mistake on that. Or they see the opposition and the Tawana parliament. But the parliament get one thing. Let me tell you now. Not of us say that they allow for let them debate and vote on some things. No. Then they count the thing, they explain and they don't give out, everybody don't do that. Then they assume say everybody don't approve. Then when they say no, not to everybody approve, then they say una way disapprove, una vote. And una way disapprove for which 1/2 of the vote. Don't say that they can't vote yes or no, then they get 2/3. No. When they ask you to say everybody don't approve. But if the opposition say no, we not approve, the people that will approve will not disapprove, now they vote for get 2/3 majority. And again, the explanation, even when we get the budget, with parliamentarians in the draft for debate, they will get all them points there. As they took one side, the speaker or the deputy speaker or the head of government business don't begin to will get that parliamentarian. They take time down and they allow them for them to give a complete analysis from there. And then on time now they go ask questions to that parliament. No, they I will get you there. You know, go able to explain everything we want to explain. These guys, they don't make no mistake. They come with agenda, nothing not going under. When a smooth bill, where they know it's their part of the non-accountability bill, where they don't promise the parliamentary and they say they will bill for the houses, make them pass and smoothly. You understand? So let we they look into that. Let we they look to parliamentary debate. You will not say yes. The parliament, the opposition, they fight. But is that Bio don't make any mistake where he put Abbas today. Because if it's a not thing, then we don't wrong, especially in the financial sector.
All right, thank you very much. We'll get the next one. Time. We'll get one more. The next before we can. We'll get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What anyone say the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What anyone say the call from?
Yeah, good evening, CEO. Now, me first because what we talk about that this census thing, a legal something. Don't make no mistake. I believe say the parliament will get all. I mean, they made up. There's a provision in our law where it be they lay for 21 days. 21 days, not 2 days, not 3 days. Well, Cherry Coco, it don't become deputy speaker of the house. He knows this thing. He sabi this thing. They know. Just 10%. Nobody knows what me say. APC don't get 10%. APC get more than 40% of the parliament. So about 35, if you include farmer chiefs and other parties. They get about 38% in that parliament. Just 10%. They for not record that bill. If not every month, when I recall, that 21 days not for not reach. But the deficit don't make you nobody don't record that until that bill don't go, it don't become mature. For the fact that the speaker, the way the parliament, the procedure of the parliament, once the parliament don't say, would I say, hey, do you want the against hey? Once the speaker say the hey have it, the B have been laid. That's what the law say. That's what the law say. Jericho others, they know this thing. They know it's a beyond where one. There are a lot of things they don't in parliament. For 21 days, I'm mature, the president will go sign. Me and I blame president for this thing. Hey, we go up, we come down. Now members of parliament, now they need to talk true to me and you. So because they have to say, SFB no say, SFB government no say. This is that's what they get not credible. But what do they want to do? They want to force for denying APC census we do 2015 and this census. So what is going to happen? Will they end up for do election and account to proportional representation? Proportional representation. Mark my word. Now that's there for do. Go international committee for bring them to me. Let them negotiate. What did happen? Proportional representation. Because SFP knows it. Because census result no business out ourselves. Census result has nothing to do with presidential election. No business out ourselves. It has nothing to do with presidential election. What do they use census result? Now for constituency, for demarcate constituency. Don't imagine say what did happen last election? APC created 20 additional constituencies. Now this all census where SFPP they do so now they want cancel that 20. Either they go to proportional election. The number of votes who the president again, now they determine the MP. These are the whole thing. No, mark my word. That's all SFPP is fighting for. Mark my word.
Oh, yes, sir. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I go to you, Antikadi. I don't hear you before being you get like 6 more on the line, but allow you respond to the caller before being the next set. So what's been?
Yeah, first of all, I talk for JJ Safa stand by that, you see, because that not make me a partisan person at all. You get me? Because if JJ Safa they say if they go give people merit, then we don't they give my on other areas. Then how many then take go? Not enough. And make it clear because the person got to listen. I actually said the north, Nadi and no more. The north and west are no more. If they give anybody say something that people that will be go for SLPP, they just been Jackson in election. So then go don't get microcredits. But how many other people that side that just been Jackson election we get microcredits in that town? Yes. But how many people get microcredits in other areas then? You see, so if then the user now say they get forgive people that microcredits, now just tactical move, just get for doing. You see, with a look, how many investments they don't take go now? This is not a question about waiting an esco Maduna, not a province. I tire for this question because they keep asking an esco Maduna, not a province. Why do you not ask waiting an esco Madu na southern province, southeastern province? You're gonna play like Thailand or another place. The way me make the make my but then if you go make McKinney so una for me come back and na area na they go make. He left other area, but that other area go spend money, it develop. It go develop other areas there. You see, so it make it funny when I be ask this question. With it do not, you see, maybe something that with it do not other areas. Because if you not choose areas then in a region, then if we do something, but sometimes because it choose on a region then, now that's me. So on a left for the ask that question there, a big do you see, and then when they say this, hey me, I stand by when I say Abasmodu because me too I don't watch the parliament. I don't watch. At the CM, you get me certain things and day where it allow if he put in foot in all things they not will work. I remember I get that case where I remember you see where Tawa talk say the speaker of the house call out for making talk in public or something like that. You know, it's there for interfere. You see, a good speaker because if they want for expose corruption, you come the post with the expose corruption. I don't just say things we for just one for saying. That is a typical example. I remember exactly what happened, but when I talk and so of it will jog on a memory there. You see, the speaker try for interfere for stop Kawa from these things where I was sitting on that chair. You see, I for be welcome Kawa. They expose, they do everything because I know say now that's I want. You see, you know the debate in the parliament. It's so easy to tell. You see, it's not that I want to just personally have a go at Abbas Bundu. It's now waiting myself can see the times that we are the watch. That comment I make. One thing I know, but if we get a speaker, we're not biased. You get me? Things will work. But I'm sorry, Abbas Bundu is biased. He biased. Personal in supporters, they're not more a bill supporters, they're not more go see say Abbas Bundu no biased. Abbas Bundu is biased. I'm saying that with respect. I'm not saying that with disrespect. Abbas Bundu is biased. And you don't want somebody with bias. as a speaker, go there and be objective and treat everybody the same. Even though you come on your party or this and that is biased, you see. So and I learned something from this speaker we talk about hey and nay. You understand it? I'm not being no institution actually for use the word hey or nay.
Yeah, any use an parliament. Now, so no passport could be where I say who is for. I mean, the bill.
This speaker say, is it not the constitution? May not be no say, is it not the constitution say them for say hey, nay. You get me? But they all the confusion they did. You see, because people are not voting. Imagine, so when I say hey, nay, and then others say, oh, where the hay got it, they know that it. I don't know say the hay
I help to clarify now for help something now. What they do the ANA for would not misuse and misuse in a parliament. The ANA can therefore minor issues them where they're not able to count people and fast. Let me say some minor issue in the way parliament for move faster. You don't need to get that time for to count each vote. So that ANA when they are just like we can talk like we people in the rap and say would I get and put say I know that way we show no more say okay well we show people that agree or not agree or move on fast. Not for major issue them is supposed to use that one for the only for user for simple communication at parliament. Like so we agree on this one or we not agree or move on to the next step. Then not take an now for put it on major issue now.
Our own parliament when they do vital decision making na hey on it. You get me? So other Abbas Mundu want to forget and now they get them. Let you know one forget and obviously it's something they against SLP. Abbas Mundu go give the votes to SLPP. You see? So these are the sort of things that needs to be corrected. We can always say, if they're not touched that constitution, this country will continue for the outside with it. You see? It will continue these little things where they're for push na parliament, where they're not for allow. So that don't justify why I said Abbas Mundu is not helping parliament. You understand? Now the one that we know they see the workings of parliament and they admire Abbas Mundu. But some of we they watch other parliaments, you see, we know they admire him. We know say he get for shame plenty. I call Abbas Mundu now because he didn't have the share. It could have been any other person we sit on at the share for be calling names. So make it not look like I pick on them, but I say the reality. You get me, you see. So now that's again for I don't know. So that again for say, and somebody been talk say, yes, would have for shame, but these credibility issues and all that. You get me? You see the credibility issues, what would they say is, and the person mentioned say the bank. One thing is you don't mess up with the World Bank. It doesn't matter whether on again for pay money back or not. You don't mess about with them. You mess about with one international organization, it send bad message out to the other one. I'm going to say bad message out to the other one day. And all that big names say, good day now, but then they watch now because World Bank don't say something, you see, they're not going to just dismiss them. They say go look into why World Bank say that. You get me, you see. So that person we talk about World Bank, you get me, creates problem, you see, yes. Because they get to remember that. You get me? Maybe they for stop for depend on other international organizations that Fenway have for make their money. So when you Fenway have for make your money, then they not will tell you what for do. But when we know the Fenway have for make your money, we depend on them. Obviously, if not me they feel you, then when I talk you for listen. You get me? Simple as that. You get me? You see? So basically,
all right. So make a bring set of we get 6 now, not bring them as the last set. No, because time to creep on me so fast right now. So the next 6 caller and then we will show the program after that. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please?
Hello, is this Omaro, the call from Switzerland?
Yeah, Mr. Omar. What are you going to take on this program tonight, sir?
Okay. You see, sometimes when talk happen, we just talk pant up. Within the APCB, the experts from Abbas Mundu, within where them experts. You see, sometimes they say the way you pray debate now, so you don't do. What the APC be the expert? Before we been get somebody, a Speaker of Parliament, where it the all between the two, it the all the balance. You know, the APC themselves, now them put somebody when a political somebody there. And no matter what you do, Abbas don't try for all the balance. But you don't go take away from an APC, sorry, an SLPP. So any way it behave, the more see that SLPP in them. So what in the APC them they expect when they been decide for change that constitution for fit them for suit their own time, it's already be the day. That now one. Then you see one thing, when they don't debate something at parliament, they don't pass them. Then private citizens were not satisfied with the situation. Get all the right for going to Supreme Court. Now that make we get Supreme Court. But for say, the government don't already position themselves. They don't capture the judiciary. They don't capture other side, and then the people are not ready for test the law, for know whether the law will work or not. None of the problem. Now we see parliamentarians we don't try now the no let them go as private citizens, but then try most of them decisions that the government take. Now we see how we fight it go. If you're not able to get the people na Supreme Court, let them try that ECOWAS court. Even though government not adhere to ECOWAS court, but at least let them try, let them see. It don't happen for others, private citizens. They don't take government to ECOWAS court. They don't win. Let them try. But for say this most of this time, we demonstrate, we protest, we do this. Now then create all this problem we get into now, all this constitutional imbalance. We say I don't go through now the APC create them these past 10 years. They create a lot of funny things where they affect, where they want them now. Indirectly they affect the people. And now one where the Abbas been the issue. Before Ernest been the camp, there was someone there where no be APC, no be SLPP, they been all the balance. But when they can change the constitution for suit them, they like today they want them. You know, then let we be honest to we say again, madam. The development of that country, we all been in that country. Some of us not left that country long time. We've been there, and we know say the development of that country they're not been doing fairly. Yes, and next in time it create a lot of fruits, it create a lot of development, but it rely on political grounds that the easterners this that the easterners that the development where it been at the northwest and not
Thank you very much, Mr. Woman.
as waiting go on at the southeast. That side anybody that Salone is here. You know,
thank you very much.
Anyway, we know we'll keep on for do the balance bad things that they would expect say we will get good result. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malaga. The next caller in. Good evening, caller. And then say the call from please. Good evening, caller. And then say the call from.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah.
The call from.
Yeah, I'm a call from New York.
Yeah, Mr. Lamita, you can take, sir. Go ahead.
I just want for comment on these parliamentarians and we don't blame all along. The parliamentarians then get a lot of odds where they go against because people are now orchestrated something from the one with them plan from where they start. Well, make sure they pull all them parliamentarians then put their own then impose the speaker. This instrumental in talk about so I think where they start for debate from I think Aberdeen, if I'm not mistaken. Now they confusion mean with parliamentarians mean go for 50 where they mean for throw chairs they all day. All man know about that. Then come to parliament, they make another noise day. The opposition not agree. Well, everything go on the floor. So they just keep on quiet like that. So all man just feel say this thing I think we don't die. Nobody they think about that. Not knowing that, they may count days. Then say they don't put on the parliament, they don't put on the floor. So if they don't put on the floor after 21 days, then just play the tactics day. You know happen nowhere. But Cherico could just hold a press conference where explain how the thing happen. So let people look for the idea and the finger and they see the reality, then they talk and then they happen. Then second, another point for the parliamentarian again. Every parliamentarian is entitled to write a bill, either in collaboration with other parliamentarians or on your own. And that bill they for can go now, they for gazette that bill. And when they gazette that bill, they for print them, then put them. But any parliamentarian who writes any billion that we not from their own party come on, then they ever gazette them. And if they gazette them, they ever allow for print them. If we want to tell alone investigate into that, we are going to do a lot of the other one for names. But this is no right way good for the country. We not to this party right ham. Then they ever allow for put them forward. The parliamentarians are so frustrated. But you know able, you go first say you know able. Then now that's in Nandi. The secondly, when parliamentarians talk, another person we don't mention Nandi, then they obstruct you. Then they allow them to debate things them accordingly. Now noise the creator, the place. Then another point Nandi again. Another point again. And then get cameraman in the parliament where they video everything where they happen. Where they recording of what your contribution to parliament. Trust me, between man and God, if you go to the party member, then see say your contribution to parliament day, then only the public area. With the few people, with the exception of the few, where we follow up what may happen there. If you go request from the post where they record, when a government is the servo, who are all a part of government, trust me, you know they get and they need to give you your own recording. For like going for distributor, people know what you talk. They know let them know your contribution to parliament. This parliament said the whole they need to allow anybody see them. Then they do that they all. So sometimes when people they blame the parliament, these people, although the APC they say they don't do their own thing and they all are the same thing.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. I'll get the next caller in. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'll get the next one in. Good evening, caller. What's the name of the call from, please?
Good evening, Mr. Charlie. This is Kadima. Hi, Auntie. How are you?
You know about man. What are you take on this program tonight?
Yes, I did listen to the show and boku people that don't give anything about the census. You know, like what all man say, census good for people, census good for development, census good for how they go allocate funds to different districts for no almost people and they how for shape the money. All that they fine. The law say the president get the right way it don't go through parliament. So you read they say 21 days, parliament they left unless you don't have table and then pass up. Parliament them now we problem. Because the work of the people, whatever they do, we therefore begin ask them back, let them give away money. All this money now, President Bill, they go shape so now, where they go spend how many millions? Where then say people they don't come out World Bank then say no. We been tell una for do A B C to Z, but una not just don't do A B C, left D E F G H I whatever it is. And now true say we're a sovereign nation, right? We can do what you want to do. But when we depend on these people, when we livelihood depend on these people, when we don't use for depend on these people, so we therefore listen to them because now, what you may see, President Bill, go ahead and do them because such a ego to me because you know already opposition look like say them right. And sometimes it is not about opposition, it is about the people, it is about the country where they rule. There are sometimes in life we get to swallow with pride and say, you know what, it is not about winning here, it's about waiting there for benefit with people them in the future. Then money then they would not make so. Why don't we Sierra Leoneans begin demand, let them not stay with parliamentarians there for so long till we pull them money then they because then they get paid. Then they get paid. Times are hard everywhere in the world. We know that. And your economy, we're not able even for waiting and call people and they grumble every day. Poor people and because we spending power very limited and low. But with people and they suffer. But the parliamentarians and they pay them every day, every month. They're not the one day parliament come on and they say they don't get money. Then just begin to do the work. Then talk of Honorable Tawa, a guy that I so respect. Because this man stood up to him party, but then you get inside the party law them, then get people there with them for say you for follow your party. If you come out of the party, you're not rogue. You don't come out of the party. You get for follow party rule. You get for day with them. Whether right or wrong, you get for day with them. And a young man we want real change because they sell the new direction. He want to change. What he can do? They shut up on the parliament because from the top of the parliament rotting. These are all politicians. We don't rip with country of millions of dollars, chasing it in the teeth. They don't go, they don't come, they don't do nothing else better than come back again up to can retire. But we money them, we people learn for the use and we people them. We see the mayor go on democratic thing. Somebody talk about the mayor. The mayor don't go let we complain to the wall, and she put it so nicely and politely without even raising her voice. So let the wall understand. It's about time, that young lady that concerned Sierra Leonean, she said the Sierra Leonean people are standing up. The Sierra Leonean people. It's about time that we know we right. It's about time that we stand. It's about time we say it is enough. We deserve better. We're not going to put some people here where they come for self-interest. Parliament there for function. Debates there for happen. Real allow people and for able for exchange and what they call, because these people represent us citizens. Now we the people, we all know go to parliament. That's why they choose representatives. And if they are not allowed to do their job, if they're not allowed to do the job, why do we have to keep encouraging and taking this nonsense? It's so frustrating. It's the same thing. I'm sorry, I know me beef, I don't go up, but it's the same thing we get into. There are no sustainable development. Nothing now. They wouldn't. All them people they don't see with Salone from you. We don't go and come. One thing they don't do inside the country for FG, young man and young boy, then job inside we country. Then they take the money they care and go west and they come back. They take more they care. They say them die now, so then they cycle no more. Then they recycle. Then they come. And this is frustrating because the people out there, then they use winner and game of pawn. The pawn is very important in a game by the way where you move and how you move. But because we don't know, say we're very important, that's why they're using us. So let me protect the king and the knight. That's what they're doing. But this is frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Yes, President Bioge right for doing because Parliament don't say go do it. But does he have to do it? That is the question. Does he really have to do it? Why the rush? Why the hurry? Why not go with the one the we don't say that the guy will become now it's man for talk. President Bioge can score points now. Sometimes I want to be like Mogofuli. Sometimes we don't need the money again from outside. They begin using real money them. I pray to God to them and then they do because whatever they we go
thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you very much. I know I'll get 5 show on Sunday. We will tune in on Sunday and see what we'll get for we on Sunday. But thank you very much for the passion. We appreciate that. I'll now get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What's the name and also the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What's the name and the call from? Yeah, caller, if you go turn your sets down. Good evening, caller. What time was the call from, please? Caller, you turn your sets down.
Hello?
Yeah, what time was the call from, please?
Hello?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yes, see you.
Yes, sir.
Ugo Ukandamo. Is that parliament? And they don't rot it. I will tell you, that's a joke. But we will blame Abbas Budu. We will blame anything. But me, what's the lawyer? I put the blame for the last administration. Within that last administration, they did. How Abbas will not ever stand election if you go in BT Barat and BT Common. You go there, you know, we get 4 votes. To consider we wrote the table, they say at least somebody impartial, somebody who has seen Supreme Court judge level, I will be Speaker of the House. Because the Constitution, they give a lot of powers to the Speaker of the House. Any bill they take in that Parliament, what they about to do? They do voice collection first. When you do voice collection, they say, oh, SFP get her. Where SFP get her now? Any APC they challenge, they need to forget 2/3 of the vote. All that they come and they making because APC change that constitution. And this hala all the hala with the vote you hate, with the fed you hate. Tomorrow, other parties come, APC who can have power and the same thing will continue. Why we, the citizen, I feel say for man pressure, if you get for common street, you must straight. You must straight for law to change the constitution of Australia. That's what Australia. If now you yourself feel you go become president. If you go become president of Australia, that constitution makes you undemocratic. That constitution is not good for today, it's not good for yesterday, it's not good for tomorrow, it's not good for nobody. Don't let us pretend. Don't let us pretend. Because everything, the whole thing, and me I tell you, what the SFP one, they don't say what they now wasted money. And not for any good result. What they for do? I don't know, there's a proportional election. And they tell you, now proportional representation, mark me word. Because SFP not for conduct election without all census because APC gave them 20 extra seats. If you know you CEO, politics you didn't get benefit any side, will you allow that thing for go on? No. It's not going to be possible. So the only thing they do, SFP do census, so they don't do census and proportional election for vote in another country.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We get 2 more callers in. Look at the next caller. Good evening, caller. Attend the most of the call from please. Good evening, caller. Attend the most of the call from please. Caller, good evening. Attend the most of the call from. Hello. Yeah. Attend the most of the call from please.
Oh, from Mike, I come from Philadelphia.
Yeah, Mr. Flo, what time you take on the program tonight, sir?
One thing is, it's just the way the country they go. You know what I mean? Because we know say the parliament not function again, and our constitution look like say we not even get constitution in the country no more because none of them politicians or them political party are they respect the constitution of the country. You know. They all they do what they want and they, I mean, destroy the constitution. I mean, bulldoze whatever what they want. You know, how the country will go before when they know they put the country first. You know, when they know they pledge their love and loyalty to the country, when they born there in the country, Mama Salone, when they know they do that day for them. You know? The people in the suffer instead. They all in 2 parties and their own interest to worry about. The poor people in the suffer. You know. Food for eat na problem. Water for drink na problem. You know. Typhoid they kill people in the country. Look at the hospital there. Look at the condition of the hospital there. Now census we worry about. Census now we worry about the country. When we say nothing no day, but a census then politicians they worry about. It's a shame. It's a shame the people who they put in power. You know, and why will not they hold them accountable? Who all they sit down, they support them people, they want them people, they continuously they destroy the country. Who not they tell them the truth? It's a shame to all Australians, you know. Well, your country, now they go down the drain, so and all they just they look aside. You know, it's embarrassing. For we, like some of who don't invest money in our country, they see the bag of cement they go up. And then people really do nothing about it. Instead, they worry about census. You know, before this administration kind of power, they already know what's the problem. They know what's the problem. President Beyond know it's not the problem. Even in his speech there, he said the problem. From Palabar to wherever the people are suffering. He said that. But how come he's not doing something for the people that are suffering right now? If you won't win the next election, not a census will help you win. Now the work what you do for the people and then will help you win. You don't need for force no census to the people there. If you work for the people and you work, then they vote for you next time. Whatever politician there, as long as you know they hold them accountable in that country, they will continue to support them blindly. You know, now one of our biggest problem that day, we as Sierra Leoneans, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and just not let them politicians send we into a war again or try to divide we in some type of tribal thing. You know, we all are the same people there. We all are the same people there. You know, that's your contribution. Because them politicians, they continue to divide the people there. And the people don't realize it, not for their own benefit, not for the people their own benefit. All right. I'm your contribution, Randy, bro.
Thank you very much. Then since I will last call this for the night, Auntie Kadi, I will hand them over to you for there you go answer to callers, give your take and also your last word for the night. Over to you now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So one thing they say here is, with the talk about the speaker not necessarily get for be a judge. Because even in other countries, the speaker not can be a judge. The speaker not can even be a lawyer at all. You get me? You see? Because it's happening here. The last speaker we come up before this current one, not study law safe. You get me? You see? But it depends on the people there, because we get people there in Salone. If we don't change this constitution, how it will be? Me for me safe. This constitution, if me and the president of the country there, yes, I will be inclined to do within sometimes people that will vex before. Yes, me, yes, we need things to say go do. Maybe sometimes forget the constitution and pull and come on at the hands of Sierra Leoneans then. We pay people then outside Sierra Leone and do the constitution properly. We don't tell the old one and drum because so these people will not be interested in any way. You see, but the constitution and the people that get interest, people that try to put clauses that they go suit their party. So that's the make the constitution they in a mess. But when we get independence, people then we not get no affiliations with any of the political parties. Then I think we will get a good constitution. It's not like we people they're not able to draw a constitution, they're able. But it's just that the political influence is too much that and unless we get it right with the constitution, this will never be in a mess. Talking about proportional representation, the proportional representation, it can go in some ways because it gets seats in the parliament. You get me? It then go by, yes, the proportion of the people that we vote for now. So elect, you know, win. You MP no win. You see? But then we allocate the seat and one self go get. You get me? Is Sierra Leone ready for that? To me, I'm not thinking to say that proportional representation this government wants. This government, they're doing everything to come back here. So if it's not then should be no other. You get me? And when I say, I listen to somebody today where they say, then they try for put a there's a possibility they go try for being fed camp. Get me? Because we understand say all the people that they don't train, and that's where they understand all the people that we get access to gun are people that are from. If you know where business with you know get access to gun. Okay, fine. Maybe in a security, it is for you know security around depending on what plan. But what about all the other people who want to go around say they don't bring them from Hezbollah or something from Turkey? They don't can shoot them. We don't know whether not just political propaganda or not. You see, but So that happened and train plenty people the way they say, where they call, I don't forget how they call themselves. Something for soldiers or something. You get me? This happened soon after we don't commodity or something like that. You see? So we go sorry for we. Now ain't go sorry for we. So the only thing we need want to say is make people they with integrity. Maybe they for try this thing and put a woman as side of the house. Then something will come out good in that place there. Because the thing is, that gets other people than are yeah. So if the speaker says no but law, that makes them get, I think they get lawyers in parliament there. We will always guide them. What could side them? Lots of people they're not no law, but then get when they guide them within law or something of the sort. You get me? But I'm afraid the country is in a serious mess, and we cannot keep going blaming Alex Kogoma. I'm not saying that Alex Kogoma is not to be blamed for anything, but we cannot keep blaming him. That make the lost election. The election, you see. So whatever mistakes they make, whatever failings they encounter, whatever successes they get, then don't come out. That is why the country votes for SPP. So SPP cannot come now and say APC will do that, APC will do that. Yeah. So to me, it's like looking for excuses to cover your failings, you understand? That's how it looks like. They always look for excuse for cover upside and fail. Obviously, as if they don't fail. 4 years, what have they achieved? What have they achieved? Let bio government pass me poor people in a salon. Oh, and let me poor people in a salon pass bio government. If I don't get forgive them, now that may God put me in a position there and let we talk and try for educate them. Try for say something where each government go listen and take that on board. I think that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Auntie Kadi. I want to say thank you to viewers and listeners around the world. Like we say, without owner, there's no viewers. And for the week, come now to the talk every day. We know say we want to forget the conversation. The reality is now, I'm not it's SAPP or not it's APC, not like SAP or not like APC. All the countries where I like my life, Salone. I like above any political party or any individual because Salone make me who I be today. If you see some of us don't day in and day out to do what they do now because of local country. Within a white man country, he expects to get back home or not they get her. Now we other man country, no matter the position we get. Now we make sure so we do what we need for make sure so we continue. Get what he forget. We picking them, kind of then come together and get possibility and get privilege and possibilities and we not get back home. We get to ask ourselves what can happen. We family them, the people they above we papa them, they don't because they're in bad decision what they make. Most of we not get a future back home. We not get something to fall back home. And that make we not forget again and make the same mistake because we not get excuse. We don't see the mistake. We know the mistake what they make. If we make the same mistake, we not get any excuse for the beginning because we know what's in the go on. As I listen in this conversation today, the most we come up with all the blame the politician, either the parliament, the president, or the inner power. But at the end of the day, the main people for blame now we self. Because the reality is that we the citizens don't want to take responsibility of what's in the go on. Let me come back and check what's in the happen. Now we they put people in the power. Now we the vote. Now we the suffer. And now we the same people in the come back and make excuse for the one them when they vote. Now we the chap we safe. Now we the go threaten we safe. Now we the go fight we safe. So this not very much for the politician. If the Salone changed today, it changed because of a mental capability, mental slavery. The way most all the reggae stars then say, mental slavery worse than physical slavery. Salone happened today, not because of mistake. It happened because of the way we they think. Because that same man who didn't still to suffer today, that the same man in social media, they cost man because for the same person we make it suffer. Some of it overseas, we get a choice not for sit down today or even talk about it in the Ghana Salone. But to choose for the one, we choose for them cost to mama them, we choose for them cost to papa them, we choose for them care we say we not sober. We choose for them cost we every day because we know say we love the country. I no need for the one, but I supposed to do it because loyalty to the country. I want to let you get the same thing we get. And when I come home, like the same pride we not get overseas. That not gonna happen for me country not move forward. So I ask Chris all today. The politicians that are willing to work for, from President Biete to the last minister. Now we put them there. They don't put themselves there. Now we put them there. Some of we use with money, we use with time. If you not do what we need for do, now we just for come back as a country and ask ourselves the right question. So people in the talk say we know the praise administration in our power. But people they know say some of it enough tooth any for pull past administration. I no need for come back and they continue for say that every day. I do what I need for do because that past administration me do what I need for do. So I decided to say low bring a change. A change don't come, that's not what I need for do. I know they sit down there, they begin to talk with the next one. My job now for make sure say I talk about what I see and waiting them promise me. I know they promise me, I know me blind. If I see the system not the work, not to my job for sit down and set month and the clap. When you begin go school, a come out in results, they get 20 over 100. You know the system they clap for them. So why politician get 20 over 100 they clap for them? They promise you 100 thing, they fix 2. They say I for praise it after 2 things what you do. So the problem not to the politician, I mean you too. Then we 60 years we major road now only 2-way road. We lost lives more than or even equal to the time we get war in the country. Up to this day, nobody fix the problem. Now we highways them. Why when they die every day? Up to this day, we not ask ourselves why make we road the road so we get now only 2-way road. People need die every day. How we fix them? Most of the people die from waterborne disease. Most of the people in the die in the hospital because of lack of proper medical condition. Mama or papa then where is sick with the gut. We say my fit for go upline with the worry because we never make them alive. So if we sit down here today and say some of them talk about the good administration they do, tell me the good because there's difference between development and sustainable development. When I say sustainable development, which means where you left power that development for day. Not the development within a power where left will disappear. Since 60 years we get independence, we not get light. 60 years we not get good sewage. 60 years we not get good hospital. We not get good schools. That you say today, I foresee them and praise a politician where they give me the school where go open, in beginning they go to the school. The hospital will open for me and you or mama them, they attend the hospital. The Minister of Energy, now generates again in us. So tell me what's here for praise. So think about it. Ask yourself, what are the problem? Sierra Leone. Good night. God bless you. We'll pursue again next Friday. Love you. Start yourself best. Good night, everybody.
Good night.